Finally, big Thursday night game. Would be remiss if I did not mention my UConn Huskies at Rentschler Field, at home, hosting the NC State Wolfpack. UConn, a 14.5-point home underdog, which obviously means NC State is a 14.5-point favorite. The over-under in this game is 46.5. Starting with UConn, listen, bluntly, I'm biased. I get it. What Jim Mora did last year, though, was incredible. Took a team that was 1-11 the year before, finished 6-7, went to a bowl game. And here's the interesting thing. They really turned the season after a loss at NC State. Got beat pretty bad, 41-10. And then from there, went on to win 5 of their next 6 games to get bowl eligible. Included in that stretch, they beat Boston College, an ACC team in the same conference as NC State. They beat Liberty with Hugh Freeze. Never forget that. And so it was an incredible year for Jim Mora and an interesting group that he is bringing back and an interesting name under center at quarterback. Joseph Fangano is the starter at quarterback. For those who don't know, a little bit of a backstory on the UConn quarterback situation. Only place in America you'll hear this kind of breakdown. But UConn, really unique situation. So a year ago, they had a starter named Taquan Roberson, from Penn State, transferred in. Kid won the starting job. Week 0, not even week 1. Week 0 gets hurt. It was unfortunate. He goes out. Zion Turner, a true freshman out of Florida, comes in. And credit to Zion Turner. He actually played pretty well. He did what was asked of him. But, those two guys both come back. But it's Joseph Fangano, a transfer from Maine, who wins the starting job. Now, some of you sit there and say, well, Maine, that can't be good. But the bottom line is, and I think this is what Jim Mora and his staff are thinking. For people who do not know, and I'm sure many of you don't, UConn's offensive coordinator, Nick Charlton, was previously the head coach at the University of Maine, where he worked with Joseph Fangano. And so Fangano's familiar with the system. He knows what the offensive coordinator wants. And I think UConn just feels like he's a veteran guy. We can trust him with the ball. He's not going to do too much. And the one thing that UConn did really well last year was run the football. Victor Rosa, true freshman from Bristol Central High School, same high school as Donovan Clingan, one of the stars of UConn's men's basketball national championship team, had a very productive true freshman year. And then I think it's worth noting, Jalen Mitchell transfers in from Louisville, where he was Louisville's leading rusher 2 seasons ago. So the run game should be good. The defense brings back 8 starters, including Jackson Mitchell, an absolute tackling machine, 4th in the country in tackles last year. This is going to be a really, really, really good UConn team. From the NC State perspective, a lot of questions. Not all bad questions, but a lot of questions. Interesting team last year, went 7-2 to start the season. Devin Leary gets hurt about game 6, game 7. They win another 1 or 2, and then it kind of fell off. They go 1-4 down the stretch without Devin Leary. Devin Leary's obviously now at Kentucky, and they replaced Devin Leary with Brennan Armstrong. Very interesting story here. Brennan Armstrong, 2 years ago at Virginia, was one of the leading passers in college football. 4,400 yards, 30-plus touchdowns. He was awesome 2 years ago at Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall retires. His offensive coordinator leaves, and it crashes and burns in year 1 under Tony Elliott. Well, guess what happens? That same offensive coordinator from 2 years ago, he's now at NC State, where he brought Brennan Armstrong with him. NC State last year, deep receiving core, 14 different players scored 1 touchdown or more receiving. That was the most in college football. And speaking of the most in college football, the defense is very interesting as well. Very good run defense. Peyton Wilson, another tackling machine. Guy had about 100-plus tackles a few years ago, gets hurt. Last year, he's kind of not really playing at 100%. He is back for a 5th year to lead this defense. But this defense, 19 interceptions a season ago. That was 4th most in college football. I'll be quick on this one. I'm not going to waste too much more of your time. This just feels like a stay away to me. And it's not because whatever. First of all, let me say this. I can see the scenario where UConn covers. I believe that the people in the UConn football building believe that they are going to win. Why I'm going to stay away is for a couple reasons. The main reason, I don't know what I'm getting from either quarterback, right? Like if you want to bet this game because you like UConn or you like NC State or you think UConn sucks or you think NC State sucks, that's fine. I would lean UConn plus the points, because what I will say is Rentschler Field should be rocking on Friday night or Thursday night, excuse me. They're expecting a crowd of 30,000+ at that stadium. That stadium, people don't remember, UConn hasn't been good. It can get really, really, really loud. There's actually a quote from Robert Griffin III, RG3, that's kind of made its rounds over the last month in the lead up to this game, where he said that the loudest stadium he ever played in was actually at UConn when he was at Baylor. So that shows you how loud that place can be. I think it's going to be a great college football environment. But why I can't bet it, I don't know what I'm going to get from either quarterback. What are you going to get from Joseph Fangano from UConn? Are you going to get 2021 Brennan Armstrong? Because if you do, NC State's going to put up a lot of points. If you don't, it could be a very close game. I lean UConn plus 14.5, but otherwise a stay away to me.